Now guys, just to get a few disclosures out of the way, I was not paid anything to do this video, but I was sent both chassis for review, and I do get to keep them when I'm done. So keep that in mind while you're watching this video. All right guys, so this is the Victor Company RPG chassis. We have the HR1 handguard version, and we have the comp version. Now guys, this is a modular system, so you can swap out this handguard for this handguard. You could buy one unit and then, buy another handguard to swap in and out as your needs change for your rifle. The HR1 is available in a 16-inch and a 13-inch rail, where the comp version is only available in a 16-inch, which you're gonna want a longer one anyway. Now you do have to buy your own stock for this, so all you're getting is your main part of the chassis and then your fore end. You're gonna get a thumb rest included, and then all the hardware to get you out and shooting. But you do have to buy your own buffer tube style stock. So this takes any type of AR-15 style buffer tube stock, or you can get the little adapter, the 1913 adapter that you can screw into the back here, and then put this style of a stock on it, which this is a Samson SAS folder. Now guys, the machining on both of these units is exceptional. The fit and finish and the detail on this chassis system it's very impressive. All right guys, so on the HR1 model, so that's the AR-15 style handguard, the ARCA rail only comes about up to here. So that leaves a little bit of real estate between the barricade stop and the ARCA rail. So there's kind of an empty area right here with no ARCA. Now, although the ARCA does not go all the way to the barricade stop, there is a flat surface here for resting on barricades, bags, whatever, and it still works out pretty well, as you can see. Now, I was able to get this to balance out almost without the bipod on the front. Now guys, that's an Accutac BR4 bipod, and it's not a super heavy one. I think they're less than a pound. But with the addition of the bipod, this system balances out really well. If I take the bipod off, it's still close. It almost balances, but that's the advantage of getting the comp handguard. The comp handguard has the ability to add the additional internal weights, where the HR1 does not. So the other nice thing about the HR1 handguard is it has 4 QD sockets for your slings. They're on all 4 corners of the handguard, and they work out pretty good. So the other nice thing about the HR1 handguard is you can use full-size M-LOK weights. My KIDD chassis, the only problem that I ever found with that was I had to get the narrower M-LOK weights because the larger ones would cover part of the ARCA rail. This does not do that, and neither does the competition chassis fore end. So guys, like I said earlier, this fore end is available in 16-inch and 13-inch lengths. Now guys, one of the other issues that I have with the HR1 handguard is you have to remove the handguard to service the rifle. So if you want to clean the barrel, clean the action, anything that you want to do, that handguard's got to come off. Now my most accurate 1022s are a clean 1022, especially where the action is concerned. If you want good consistent SDs with your ammunition, you have to have a clean, consistent action, because if it gets sluggish in any way, shape, or form, it can affect how much velocity is being put on that bullet. So in turn, that can affect your consistency of your ammunition. That's why I keep my 1022s as clean as possible at all times. And that would entail on this model taking the handguard off. Now the handguard does seem to be needed to be tightened up in a certain way, because if you don't, it does affect the centering of the barrel a little bit. There are 2 bolts on each side and then 2 in the bottom, and they have to be tightened up in a certain pattern. If you don't, the barrel won't center the same every time. Now guys, I did approach Victor with the problem, and apparently they made some changes to the adapter and the screws. So it not only does it bolt to the chassis more rigidly, it's not as likely to strip out, and it does go back together where it centers the barrel better. So that was one of the issues that I brought to Victor, and they were very concerned about it. They took it to heart, they made the changes, and the product is better because of it.
So Victor is going to be making changes to the HR1 adapter. They're going to be replacing the screws, and they're also going to be changing the way it interfaces at the receiver by the scope rail. Once I get an updated adapter, I will update you.
So guys, that's pretty much it on the HR1 handguard. Let's take a closer look at the comp forend model. Traditionally, a 1022 stock or chassis is very difficult to balance out. And the reason being, there's not a lot of barrel makers that make anything longer than a 20-inch barrel. I think Green Mountain makes up to a 28-inch barrel, but they're really hard to get. Now, KIDD did just start offering up to a 28-inch barrel in custom lengths, but I do believe they stock a 24-inch barrel now. So that's really nice, because that would make balancing this rig out a lot easier. So on this rig right now, I have 2 of Victor's internal weights, and then I have 2 sets of the MDT weights. Now, Victor's brass weights, you slide them in from the front and they bolt in from the bottom, so you don't have to pull your barreled action out to install them, so that's kind of nice. But with the amount of weight that I have on the front of this right now, this thing balances out really, really well. And with this barricade stop on here, it'll protect up to a 15-round magazine, so that's really nice as well. You got to give it to Victor for giving plenty of ways to attach weights to this chassis. Now, I believe Victor Company is going to offer this exact chassis in the CZ457 platform, the Remington 700 platform, and I'm sure there will be other ones that come along as well. But I really think that Victor is going to give some of the other chassis makers a run for their money. This thing is that good. I'm very impressed with this chassis so far. All right, guys, so we've got 2 sets of MDT external M-lock weights on here, and then we've got 2 brass Victor internal weights that are bolted into the front end of this. So we've got this forend weighed down quite a bit for this 20-inch barrel. If I had a 24-inch barrel, I think we could get by with just the brass weights, but with the 20, we definitely need a little more weight in there. I'm kind of curious to see just how much recoil and movement this rifle has now. So let's shoot a couple groups and see how much movement we get out of this reticle.
Now guys, I am loosely holding the rifle into my shoulder. I'm putting no forward pressure on the bipod. I'm just kind of letting the rifle do what it wants to do. And I'm telling you, this rifle has minimal recoil and that reticle is hardly moving at all.
I got 4 in one hole and 1 flyer. Let's try it again.
So if I were to pull that rifle into my shoulder a little bit more, put some pressure on that bipod, I could reduce that reticle movement down to nothing. When it comes to a PRS rifle, weight is definitely your friend. And Victor Company is definitely giving us plenty of ways to add weight to this comp chassis.
Doesn't look like the rifle's moving much at all. This SK Standard Plus is not performing well out of this LILJA barrel though. All right guys, so let's talk about this comp model real quick. Now, the big difference between the HR1 model and the comp model is, number one, it's an open-topped handguard. It also has an internal weight system where you can put weights through the front and they bolt in through the bottom. You can use MDT weights or the Victor brass weights. We've got a ton of M-lock and a full-length Arca rail with a huge barricade stop on here, which I absolutely love. Now guys, there's 2 things on this chassis that I've never seen on any chassis for the 1022. Number 1, the weight system. Number 2, the ambi thumb rest. They're adjustable, full adjustable, forward and back, and you can tilt it, whichever way fits your thumb the best. Phenomenal. Now guys, this is KIDD Super Grade Quick Barrel Change compatible. It's rear tang compatible for the KIDD rifles. If you don't have a KIDD rifle, it does have a secondary hold down in the back, which is a large spike style screw that goes through the back and puts some downward forward pressure on any receiver that is not KIDD rear tang compatible. So that's really nice, and every receiver that I've tried, my Brownells, my CST Precision, the KIDD, the Faxon, the stock Ruger, I had absolutely no trouble fitting and securing very tightly every receiver that I've tried in this. So that's a huge plus for a precision chassis. So guys, I get it. This is not an inexpensive chassis. By the time you're said and done buying a good quality stock and the chassis, you're probably gonna have close to 900 bucks into this deal. But guys, it takes something like this to squeeze every last ounce of accuracy out of your rifle. And what this does for you if you are a competitor is next to none. No other chassis on the market does what the RPG does. Between the weight system, the thumb rest, how rigid it is, just the ergonomics of this setup is phenomenal. I happen to know this is the best chassis available to the market as we speak. Now, like I said, the MDT one is coming out, and I hope they brought their A game, because this thing is going to be tough to beat. So guys, to close out, your chassis is the foundation of your rifle. You've already spent a lot of money building your custom 1022 top tier clone, or you've bought a KIDD super grade, or you've built a nice KIDD barreled action. Why would you spend all that money and leave performance on the table with a Magpul Hunter? Guys, if you want to get the most out of your rifle, I would definitely look into the Victor RPG. This thing is very comfortable to be behind. It's very rigid. It's got everything that you need. This is a serious PRS chassis, and I really think you should give it a good look. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you today. So if you like what you saw, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you like what I'm doing here, go down there and hit that subscribe button. I cannot build this channel without you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.